Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, where we are building the Reno, Thousand Oaks and Roseville Railway. So last episode was all about starting off this Clearway project to really tighten up our network and remove some of the, sort of little bottlenecks we have here and there. And today we'll start off by fixing a few more of those, and then we'll move on to supplying some goods to our new long Hollywood line. So first project I want to do is just finalizing getting rid of the sort of bottlenecks around Reno here. As you can see, we have a double track that sort of drops down to one track, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot this second track through to our passenger line, and we'll sort of, make things work from there. So we'll need to remove some stuff to start with, which is going to make some people unhappy, but it should be okay, and we should be able to get this fixed pretty quickly. Okay, that is that little section fixed up. We're also going to get rid of the rest of our slow tracks on this sort of section here. Lovely. Next change we're going to make is switching over the rest of our main passenger line to running as dual tracks. That will allow us to just increase our throughput here. We do quite often have our passenger trains sort of waiting for slower freight trains to pass, so it makes sense to make this upgrade now as well. Not entirely sure what I did there. Okay, perfect. That change is now made as well. So, next, what we want to do here is start supplying some goods to our towns sort of along from Hollywood. So we've got Lexington, which we've actually been servicing for quite a while with passenger trains, and we haven't sort of looked into satisfying any of its goods demands. Let's have a look at see what it requires. So fuel is its number one demand, followed by food, and I think we should be able to do both of those. So we're going to get a cargo. What did I do? Oh wow, that's not what I meant to do at all. That was a bit silly. We're going to get a cargo terminus station in here to be able to handle both of those requirements. So over here is going to give us a fairly good coverage of our fuel, but not entirely. But we will need a freight road service to serve the remainder. I forgot how to speak there for a second. Beautiful, and now we will get a truck stop set up and some truck unload stops as well. Next, we'll get a line set up. This is going to be a multi-purpose one. We're going to unload, we'll reload, and then head in the other direction. So that should hopefully allow us to service all of our needs with the one sort of truck line here. The next we'll need to get set up with our trains. So we need fuel first of all. And that's also going to require us to upgrade our station over here. We're going to need another platform, I think, for this to work. Might do a little bit of reorganization here actually, because it's a complete mess, isn't it? we'll have these two coming straight in from here. In fact, we can probably have multiple coming straight in. Looks like none of those were created as slips, so we're gonna have to try again. So we're going to convert this into a row station, rather than having this sort of spider web going on here. In fact, we don't even need double track. What am I doing? We only need a single track. We also only need to delete one track as well. Like, equally stupid from me. Okay, that was all a bit weird, but I think I've put together a bit of a sort of setup here that works. We've now switched over to using a row style, which should decrease some of the... Where the fuck are you going? You're not supposed to be going that way. Oh, but we didn't connect you up to the other line. That makes sense. I apologise. We'll need to punch you through. And we're going to turn you around as well. Alright, now we can get a train set up to run all the way up to Lexington. I've fixed it up. It makes sense now. Alright, next up we will get our food train set up. This one will be a much simpler one. We don't need to reconfigure anything. I hope anyway. So we just need a whole lot of boxcars. And we can set up a line pretty much straight away. From Lower Lancaster up to Lexington sidings. So no problems at all there. That is good to see. We'll just pop over to Lower Lexington. Perfect. We are utilising all of the tracks available as well. Cool. So that's a nice easy one for us then. Now, off-screen, I set up little bus networks in each of these new towns we're servicing, and it's really paying dividends. We've got quite a few passengers waiting now. That's good, because that is obviously, this is sort of our flagship route now, so it needs to be profitable, it needs to be high volume if we want to be able to use it to drive future growth. I'm noticing the central suburban line appears to be starting to really take off. We in fact probably could do with another train on there. Yeah, we might do that. We'll duplicate our existing train, and that should allow us to transport some more passengers as well. I'm actually going to modify this because this locomotive we put on it isn't really our newest locomotive. It's probably not going to be used much anymore. It's the HHP that we'll be using instead. So I will switch that across and we'll get rid of the old one instead. It's actually becoming clear to me here that our refinery at Thousand Oaks is not receiving enough oil or refined oil to do its job properly. What that's meaning for us is that basically our fuel lines are in danger of really breaking down, to be honest. So what we're going to do, we're going to get an additional train on this Reno Crude Oil 1 line that will allow us to feed through some additional oil, which would hopefully lift our throughput through as well. We'll also, as part of that, put a additional train on our Crude Oil 2 line as well, which should balance the additional oil coming in and should hopefully allow us to utilize what we're bringing in. So I'm going to get one of these purchased. We will place it on our Crude Oil 1 line. Once that is in and working, we will also get that cloned once we have the money as well. Because what I can tell you is we've got way more demand than this, but we're not producing the oil to satisfy it. You can see here, our production is pitiful. Alright, while we're waiting for that fuel situation to start to improve, we're going to get some goods service here at Hayward. Hayward needs primarily fuel, but also tools as well. We're going to go with tools to start with. And what we're going to do, we're going to set up a set of parallel sort of lines here, which should hopefully allow us to run this with not too much of an issue. There's also a significant grade here, so I think what we'll do, we'll actually run a relief line for our freight trains to use. And we might have the relief line starting probably about here where the grade sort of starts to pick up. I think that makes sense. And that should work pretty well. We probably will have through traffic here eventually, but we're not going to worry about that quite yet. Right, now let's get a tools train running to pull that all through as we get a few frame drifts. Okay, that's interesting. Rightio. Alright, let's get this tool line set up. We will take it up to 240 meters long. And there we go, that is 300 meters long. We want 240. My mistake. And we'll get a new line set up for it as well. And there we go. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so we've done some new sort of developments with our lines. We've transformed our oil refinery here at Thousand Oaks to a roll-in, roll-out type setup, which should hopefully make things flow a little bit better, and will also hopefully allow us to actually produce more fuel, because we're not really producing a whole lot right now, which is unfortunately failing to satisfy the needs of our towns. We'll have a look at that in our next episode and make sure that is functioning well. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media on the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.